Father, like almost every other 50 something government employee, had two pair of glasses, one for reading and another for distance vision. That was the trend in 80s when people didn't really have any other choice. My family considered my teen rebellious phase to be a problem, but father's glasses were an even bigger problem because he kept losing them more often than I lost my temper. And guess whose job it was to look for them? Mine, of course. I was youngest in our family of five: grandmother, father, mother, and elder sister, and me. Everybody seemed to have something against me. Grandmother thought I was too wild for a girl. Mother thought I was too argumentative. And as for my sister, that I was a sibling was problem enough. I, on the other hand, thought that I was simply unlucky enough to be stuck with the wrong family. The only person who didn't seem to have a problem with me was father. So I really had no reason for not doing whatever he asked for me, even if it was repeatedly looking for his reading glasses. Father claimed that I was only expert who could find his glasses, and I was secretly proud of my skill. One morning during the summer vacations, my sister and I had a big fight over whose bed should be near the window. We often rearranged our room and it was filled with posters of film stars and funky chords. On hearing our shouts, mother came into our room and started scolding us. Suddenly, father called, "Vibha, I can't find my reading glasses. Come here and help me find them." Mother paused for a moment and said, "Go, look for father's glasses first, or else he will be late for office." I exited the room and ran down the staircase, muttering to no one in particular. When someone has work, I have to do it. But when I want something, I am always asked to compromise. Just because sister has a boarding exams, I am supposed to adjust with her on everything. What has sleeping by the window got to do with exams? By the time I had finished grumbling, I was already standing before father. He looked up from the newspaper and said, "I can't find my glasses." I looked at him and, despite my anger, smiled and said, "They are resting on your nose, Pa. These are my long distance glasses. I don't know where I have kept the reading one," said father. I was very fond of reading detective stories, and in typical Agatha Christie style, I inquired, "Where did you last see the glasses, and what were you doing at that time?" Father thought for a while and replied, "I was cleaning both the pairs in the veranda." I made a weird expression with narrowed eyes and twisted mouth. It was my assumption that detectives thought that with such expressions with while solving crimes, and then announced, "You must have kept the reading glasses on the dashboard of the car. Give me the car keys and I will get them for you." Father obediently handed me the keys and I procured the glasses from the very place I had said they would be in. "Bingo!" Father patted my back and said, "I don't know how you were able to find them. I'm sure I looked for them before I called you." I smiled. Mother was in the kitchen, so I quietly rushed back to my room to finish the war with my sister. But she seemed to have lost interest in continuing the fight. Now the two beds were by the wall and the study table was by the window, with thick curtains drawn across it. Days went by and each and every mission to look for father's glasses became more extensive. Sometimes I found them in the grandmother's medicine drawer where he had left them after checking the expiry date of the medicines. Sometimes they were in the newspaper rack, sometimes near the wash basin, sometimes on the top of the refrigerator, and sometimes even inside it. Now, my father was a very organized man and quite particular about keeping the things in place, but his reading glasses seemed to be an exception. He lost them so often that one day mother fixed a spring to their temple bed so that father could hang the pair around his neck. This arrangement lasted for around a week or 10 days, after which the string broke from father's constant pulling and he managed to lose his glasses again that same evening. Time passed, and on random Sunday, my mom asked me to finish my homework before the evening because some guests were coming and she would need help later. Since my sister was in college by then and staying in different city, so I was the default help around the house. But I was so also a book addict. I had borrowed a novel that I hadn't read yet from the school library. It had to be returned the very next day, so reading won over homework. And that moment, mother called for help. I yelled back, "Mother, I am doing my homework." She came and started scolding me, and immediately I started arguing about how I was being treated like a slave in the house. This was just about to be concluding scene of my Monday when father called out, "Vibha, I can't find my reading glasses. Come here, help me find them." Before mother could say anything further, I rushed to him like an obedient daughter. My father needed me and I needed to save myself from mother's scolding. Once again, I started my inquiry session with him. "Where were you before this, Pa? When did you last use the glasses?" Finally, I found his glasses in the puja room and which were resting near the Ganpati ji's feet. Sometimes I wondered if the glasses had magical feet that they walked away to all these strange places. But I was sure of one thing: I was the only one who could find them. It never struck me that I was the only one who was asked to find them. 2 years passed and it was my turn to go to college hostel in another city. I was very excited and looked forward to the days ahead. My only worry was how father would find his reading glasses now without my help. By the time I completed my graduation, father too was transferred to the same city. Grandmother had passed away by then and my sister was married. So only mother and father had to relocate. They were happy to have at least one child living with them, and I was happy to have comforts of home again. It was enjoyable in the beginning, then it became a way of life. There were small arguments with mother. She constantly complained about me being fuzzy eater, and then the father who still kept losing his glasses. Now finding his glasses was much more urgent since he had only a single pair of glasses with bifocal lenses for both reading and distance vision. So I was back to my old job of hunting for father's glasses. Mother was a teacher and she too had been using reading glasses for a very long time, but she never lost them. The only time I remember mother's glasses being misplaced when father thought that they were his glasses and wore them for a while before losing them somewhere. I had grown up from being a rebellious teenager to a working adult. I actually had a job post my MBA. Life had become so busy that sometimes I came home just to eat dinner and sleep. There was hardly any time to myself. When there was, I spent most of it sleeping. Mother and father tried to explain the necessity of rest, but when you are in your early 20s, you feel that you can conquer the world. Soon the stress started taking a toll on my health. It was like being a teenager again. I was always grumpy and irritable. My temper flared up at the slightest provocation and sometimes without any at all. I managed to keep a straight face in the office, but not for long. The stress became so evident on my face that mother and father started to worry. Still, I was not ready to stop my lifestyle. But one day I was unnecessarily arguing with mother over something. I don't even remember now. When I heard father call out the some words after a long time, "Vibha, I can't find my reading glasses. Come here, help me find them." I smiled. I had understood the meaning of that call by now. Anger management may sound like a big corporate phrase, but father had healed me with a simple therapy. When my fuse threatened to blow, I had just to search for his reading glasses only.